The fall of the walls of Jericho is one of the most impressive and mysterious stories in the Bible, an episode that combines faith, strategy, courage, and divine intervention. Picture an entire city surrounded by walls so thick and tall they seemed impossible to destroy. Now imagine those same walls collapsing, not from war machines or explosions, but from the sound of trumpets and the faith of a people. This is the story we're about to tell, so get comfortable, because in the next few minutes, you'll dive into one of the most surprising moments of the Old Testament, where the impossible became reality, and it all started with a command from heaven. It all happened over 3,000 years ago, when the people of Israel, led by Joshua, were preparing to enter the Promised Land. After wandering through the desert for decades, they finally stood before Jericho, a fortified city, protected by massive walls that seemed impenetrable. But Joshua wasn't just a military leader. He was a man of faith. And it was through that faith that he received unusual instructions from God. Instead of launching a direct attack, Joshua was to lead the people to silently march around the city once per day for 6 consecutive days, without speaking a word, just walking, while 7 priests blew trumpets made from ram's horns. Now think about it. What kind of army tries to conquer a city by walking silently around it? To human logic, it sounded like madness. But this is where the core of the story lies. So on the 7th day, instead of 1 lap, Joshua ordered them to march around the city 7 times. And on the 7th lap, when the priests blew their trumpets for the last time, Joshua shouted to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." And in that very moment, something unbelievable happened. The walls of Jericho simply collapsed. Stone by stone, everything came down, as if an invisible hand had pushed the city to the ground. The Israelites charged in, took Jericho, and fulfilled God's promise, without lifting a sword. Until that moment, they had won through faith and obedience. But what really happened there? Many scholars have tried to explain this phenomenon. Some believe it could have been a coincidental earthquake. Others think the sound pressure from the trumpets and the shouting may have caused a structural collapse. There are even archaeologists who claim to have found ruins in Jericho that date exactly to that period and show signs of a sudden wall collapse. But for those who believe, the explanation is simple. It was the hand of God acting through the faith and obedience of his people. And that makes the story even more fascinating. Because this isn't just a military victory, it's a lesson about the power of faith, its persistence, and trusting in something greater than ourselves. What's even more impressive is how this story still lives on today. The fall of Jericho has become a symbol of overcoming the impossible. How many times do we face walls in our own lives? It's problems that seem too big, obstacles that feel insurmountable. The story of Jericho reminds us that with faith, even the greatest walls can fall. That sometimes victory doesn't come through strength, but through divine strategy, patience, and perseverance. And that even when everything seems silent, like those 6 days of marching, something powerful might be preparing to happen, because when the right time comes, the walls come down. If this story inspired you, share this video with someone who also needs to remember that no wall is too big when God is on our side. And tell me in the comments, what's your Jericho? What wall do you need to see fall? Let's talk, because sometimes just hearing these stories helps us believe again. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories that show how faith can move mountains and tear down walls too. See you in the next video.